Bum, bum, bum. I forgot all about this song. I'm so freaking pumped to be back. It's real long. Keith wrote this whole song. We are so excited to be back.
Thanks for ruining it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to, what is this? Strange New Show. Keith and Mike watch Star Trek Strange New Worlds. We are here to ruin your experience of Strange New Worlds, much like Mike ruins my song. I can't believe it. It's been years. It has been forever since we have done this show.
23 months.
Has it really been 23 months?
I believe that is what JD said.
Holy moly, but we are back here because just 48 hours ago, they dropped the first 2 episodes of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and today we are going to be talking about and reviewing Hegemony Part 2, or as Mike said it last episode from 2 years ago, Hegemony. How's it going, Mike?
Yeah, on the watch along, it took me 45 seconds to settle on what I wanted to call it. But Keith, before we even start, I'm giving you the Pike today. I tried.
You sure are.
I gave it everything I had. Unfortunately, this is as controlled as I can pike my hair.
I mean, look, dollar store versions of things are a major part of our economy.
And cheaper.
And cheaper. They're not as good, right?
No,
but they're cheaper. So you're going Pike, and I'm going Gorn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Team Gorn. You're Team Pike. We are ready to roll. So yeah, it's been almost 2 years.
Yeah, and there's, thank God for the YouTube channels that summarize things and give you the 4-minute catch-up type of thing, because I'll be honest with you, I have forgotten everything about this show. I forgot major plot points. I remembered the characters. I remember their names. In some cases, I remembered what race they were.
That makes one of us.
Yeah, and I also forgot entirely how we do this show.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so it's going to be... This first one's going to be a little rough. That said...
did you think that the first 2 seasons weren't?
Yeah, that's true. But listen, there's graphics. There's 2 men talking at you. It's just a Tuesday in America for you.
It sure is. It sure is, yeah. So for our Season 3 graphics, do you know what I pulled this look from?
No, I'm imagining the bridge.
It's the main console when they fly the ship from.
It's hard to notice anything, Keith. The first, some just general reactions before we jump into the specifics. Things I remembered. Listen, I love my Deep Space Nine. I love the 4x3. It's all working. But man, that widescreen aspect ratio. Man, the 4K and the HDRs and the pips and the pops and the texture on the uniforms, everything is just like, so sumptuous. It's hard to pay attention to anything other than just pecs, and everyone's ripped and jacked and good looking, and Keith has not looked at anything outside of Chapel.
I mean, I am a little bit, and by I mean a little bit, a lot in love with Chapel, but there's only one person here actively rooting against Chapel and Spock. It's this guy. Well, I think I still got a chance.
So what our patrons, did you know, friends who are somehow the algorithm really messed up your day and you found yourself here, if you want to watch the episode with me, you could do so with the fine folks over at patreon.com/K and spelled out M, K and M. And here are the 2 things, the prevailing things. So almost everybody had watched it already. They didn't wait for me, except for the mysterious household. They watched along with me. Here are the 2 prevailing things people remember from seasons 1 and 2 of our show, Keith.
Okay.
1.
Of our show?
Yes. Well, our watching of the first 2 seasons.
I see. Okay, I get it.
1. Keith loves Chapel.
That's true.
2. Keith gets mad about the Gorn because it's too much like Alien.
100% true.
That's it. That's what we remember.
That's more than I remember. Although, to be fair, I did go back and watch Hegemony Part 1.
Yeah, I didn't do
And
that.
I watched some of our review of it because I didn't remember what we thought. And we were pretty hard on it, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I remember. I remember you being real bad, real alien. In fact, you just said, I mean, give me my best and Keith impression. It's just alien!
Yeah. Hold on to keep your butts, folks.
Okay.
I might have some similar feelings about this one.
I suspect. Yeah.
However, I did enjoy this episode. So, what do you say? We talk a little bit about this episode, the season premiere of season 3.
Please.
2 years later, it aired for the first time on Friday. But if you're not watching this, this week, this was April 17th, 2025. The top song, which I'm going to keep doing because it's a time capsule.
And
right?
I think
These
we
things
should just do it
exist
this
forever.
way, right? Here's a way to approach the top song, Keith.
Okay.
Simple up and down, right? Because we're all about brevity here for this show. Let's just give a simple thumbs up, thumbs down. I've heard of this song in my life, or I have not.
Well, boy, I can just add a graphic because I don't need to. I don't need to spend all the energy just sticking up my thumbs down. I mean, it might be a great song. I don't know, but it. You know what? It's not a great song. It's not a terrible song. You know what it is? An ordinary song because the top song is Ordinary. Alex Warren. I have heard of
neither of those things.
one of those.
Yeah, me neither. All right, so let's get the visual.
Well, it's not down. It might be good. You know what the visual should be? Us holding a walker.
I don't need to have that visual. I think it's pretty clear what I'm rocking over here.
And
youth is not it.
Youth is not it. Youth is not it.
Okay.
No.
Thanks. Well, congratulations, Ordinary Day. Or just Ordinary.
Just Ordinary.
Okay.
Ordinary Days is
a musical,
as the Adam Guan musical. My buddy Adam. All right, so the top movie, Mike, I think you could probably speak extemporaneously about this.
Is it James Gunn's Superman?
It just might be.
Yeah. Folks, fly to your nearest big screen and just enjoy. Or just wait for it to drop on a, I don't know, Plex server. Yeah. I look forward to seeing it. I have not been in a movie theater in, at least 6 years. All right. Well, we're going to work on
7
that.
years?
There's, the things I really like, it's expensive to go to the movies. On Stimulus Tuesdays, is a nice, those are words I tried to say. Stimulus Tuesdays is a nice time to go to the theater.
I mean, if I were to go to the theater, right, it would be like a 1 o'clock matinee on a Tuesday. Like, I want to be the only person there. I still want to, I want it to be my basement. I just need a little
just Keith and the Daywalkers.
Yeah, because I pretty much am. I am a daywalker.
Yes.
That's sort of what I am. All right, so what was in the weekly world news headline? If you don't remember, we did the segment. I didn't remember we did the segment until I pulled up the rundown from the previous season.
Hey!
But of course, we want to know what was going on in the world. Aliens are settling in San Francisco. I would just like to applaud.
Man poses as CPR dummy to meet women. Keith!
I mean, there's hope for me yet. And you know what? Chapel's a nurse. She needs to practice.
You know what you need to do to Chapel, Keith? This is really the definition of this is no consent. So this is problematic.
Yeah, kind of needed to be consent.
But I'm going to say this. You got a Wendy Peppercorner.
I don't know what that means.
You don't know what Wendy Peppercorning is? Get Chancellor. There's a movie, Keith. You might have heard of it. It's called The Sandlot. And it's about these scampy group of kids who are just playing baseball and living their lives. Have you ever seen The Sandlot, Keith?
I'm trying to remember.
Okay, it's an absolute crime and shame, and you should be shamed. It's up there with Goonies, with movies that they're found.
From 93. I think I thought I was too old for this movie when it came out.
Oh my God. The Sandlot's awesome. And there's a great scene where the kids, there's this really cute lifeguard, and this character Squints pretends to drown so that the lifeguard has to come, Wendy Peppercorn has to come and save him.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's an interesting cast. Karen Allen, James Earl
We're
Jones,
not
Dennis
discussing.
Leary.
We're not discussing the bona fides of The Sandlot, which is a seminal classic.
I don't know. I just
It's like, I don't know, Jaws. I guess I should check it out.
By the time I was 13, I was like, I'm a little old for all that kid stuff.
For childhood nostalgia, beautiful friendships, and baseball.
My childhood nostalgia, by the time it was 1993, was for James Cameron's Aliens.
Bill
and I
Pullman's
will
in
be
that
defending
one?
it.
Bill Pullman's in that?
I'm sure it's fine.
No, Dennis Leary. Excuse me, Dennis Leary.
Leary.
in a playing the father. Bill Pullman. I keep mentioning Bill Pullman. I watched him when. Okay, let's continue.
Okay,
Sandlot.
Well, there
Who
we
knew?
go.
Hot take from Keith. The Sandlot might be good.
I don't know. I'm not going to watch it now. It's weird. Anyway, so check out those Aliens.
No,
in
it's
San
not
Francisco.
weird now.
This movie, well, it kind of feels like a movie.
Yeah,
really
it does. Yeah.
Was directed by Chris Fisher, who last directed The Broken Circle.
Mm-hmm.
It was written by Davy Perez, who last wrote on Under the Cloak of War, great episode, and Henry Alonzo Myers, who also did the story. So this early into an airing, it's only been up for 72 hours, you wouldn't think we would have anything trivial. But guess what? Guess what we do? Now, Keith, waste your time.
With what?
With trivial trivia. Wow, I redid that for this? That's
Yeah,
amazing.
That is crazy. I have to
I
do.
put too much work into this show. We've only done. You realize we have done over 150 episodes of Deep Space Nine, and this is episode 21 of Strange New Shows. Crazy.
I have to say though, if you get a chance to check out the stream, Keith, or just the first 30 seconds of it, I was so hype. Everything was super hype about this. I almost had, well, I guess I had to. They painted themselves, well, we'll talk about it. They painted themselves into a corner with having to open with this episode because these first two episodes that they dropped, I think they did it on purpose because they were like, we have to remind people what the tone of the show is. Because I don't think this first episode is indicative of what the actual sort of median tone of the show is, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, it's interesting.
Have you watched episode 2 yet?
I have.
Okay.
I did.
Right.
I did watch it because I thought we were going to go next week, but apparently we're going on Monday. So
Yeah, I just want to catch up.
I had to prepare for it. So yes, I have watched it. Well, I think it prepares you for the tones
Yes.
of the series, which I don't necessarily have a problem with having lots of different tones.
No, me neither. I think that's rather than me really traveling to multiple two strange new worlds. It's more like strange variety of tones. I think is a better
strange variety of tones. Yes, indeed. All right. So trivia.
Yeah.
Captain Pike tells Admiral April that if the Federation doesn't stand up to the Gorn, they will keep expanding the borders of their territory into Federation space. Well, because this is a prequel, we know this is exactly what winds up happening 7 years later. A star chart in the briefing room shows that the latest demarcation lines the Gorn have declared to define the border of the Gorn hegemony. The star chart shows that the northern boundary of the border is very close to the Cestus system. In 2267, the Gorn attack a Federation colony on Cestus 3, killing most of the colonists and attacking a Starfleet outpost as well. The Gorn then used the outpost communication system to lure the USS Enterprise into the Cestus system, leading Captain James T. Kirk to battle this guy. In the character. So, look, I've got the 7 and the 12. Brought them both. But what you can't see is the 4 3/4. I have
dressed
else.
less fabulous than those.
Well, fair enough.
A little more wrinkly.
It depends on the weather.
Skin equally leathery.
Yeah. So, but of course, like we have to continue the continuity here because we know Kirk is going to battle one of these guys hand to hand, which we have some continuity issues there.
Yeah,
But
I guess that is the sort of writing challenge of this show, right? Is they have to make things fit and not ruin. Like we can't have Gorn War for the rest of the series, but also we have to keep them around for later.
Well, and we have to, yes, so like that you have to keep canon together. Now, of course, they play fast and loose with a fair amount of canon. But you have to have like the major plot points. I mean, you can't set up a world in which Kirk does not battle the Gorn in the desert. So, but that is not the end of the trivia about Cestus 3. Because this is going to be even cooler for you, because this isn't a tie to the original series. This is a tie to Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Yes, it is.
Which reveals that the Federation established a colony on Cestus 3 after Kirk battled, naming the capital city Pike City in honor of Captain Christopher Pike. The season 4 premiere, The Way of the Warrior, also reveals that in 2371, the colonists on Cestus 3 formed the first baseball league since the 21st century.
The Pike City somebodies.
Wow, nicely done.
Oh, wow, that's
yes,
in my brain.
Cassidy Yates' brother plays for the Pike City Pioneers.
I don't know what to tell you, Keith. On occasion, I slip into a poop-filled exit of information. A slimy, poop-filled orifice exit of information.
Well, if you found that slimy, poop-filled orifice of explanation to be so enrapturing, you would like to financially support such wonderful alliteration, you might join these amazing people.
Yeah, you just might want to poop your money right down the toilet. Hey, listen, you see this? The last time you saw this show, this slide wasn't as big. And
that is very true.
We're super appreciative to those who are coming on this journey with us, who like a little irreverence, and just like they want to play a little fast and loose with their Star Trek content. And that's what we're here to do. I'm not going to read these names in the sake of brevity, but we appreciate each and every one of them. And I would hope to add your name next week to this title. You can join the team at patreon.com/K&M.
Yeah. It is quite humbling to, because when I was checking out, trying to remember what we said about the last part of this episode, I saw the Patreon slide at that point. I'm like, holy moly, things have changed quite a bit in 2 years. We looking more distinguished.
Yes.
Even more distinguished, as does our Patreon list. Our guest stars this week include Adrian Holmes as Robert April, Melanie Scrofano as Marie Battelle, Dan Jeanot as George Samuel Kirk, Carol Kane as Pelia, Rongfu as Jenna Mitchell, Mattia Jacket as Nurse Bo, and of course Alex Kapp is doing the USS Enterprise computer voice. So now, before we go into the screening room, Alex Kapp.
Somebody had ventured to say that it sounded like
Majel Barrett?
No. Oh my god, I can't remember. Kate
Mulgrew?
Yeah. But
that would be cool. That would be a hell of a cameo. I mean, I still think, and I think Alex Kapp does a great job. I believe that Majel Barrett, before she died,
gave permission,
recorded all of the sounds so they could cobble it together. And certainly with AI, you could definitely do it and still have Majel Barrett do the computer voices. That's what I would do if it were me. So before we go into the screening room, folks, we have a twist.
We should definitely warn them about this.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely need to warn that, and that is so. As Mike was all gung ho, and he's like, hey, you know what? We should record a 2-hour Deep Space Nine, then a 2-hour Strange New World, and then a 2-hour Strange New World, all in the same weekend. I was like, sure, buddy, but what if instead of me writing the episode summary, which is by far the biggest part of my prep work for any episode, what if just what if Mike did the episode summary? What would that be like? How would it go if Mike led the discussion? And which makes sense for this show, because unlike me, taking you by the hand and guiding you through an old property that I'm super obsessed with, this is a property that we are on equal footing with this. So maybe Mike should take the steering wheel and drive the ship, drive the conversation, and write the summary. What would happen?
I'm not confident in how this is going to all play out. We're going to try. The last thing is because Keith just changes the sort of does Dropbox magic and like things appear on my OBS, which is like amazing. I love our little job here. The magic of the OBS thing is that I do not remember, I swear to you, my hand to God, that doesn't mean much. I'm not particularly religious, but I do not remember the bumpers at all. And
usually they're just recycled from Deep Space Nine, so it's fine.
Oh, no, I don't. This one, I won't give it away, but I am. All right, let's just roll. Okay, same idea. Same
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all this. I mean, like reduce, reuse, recycle, streamline, baby. That's what we're doing. So, Mike, walk us through
Keith, Season 3, Episode 1, Hegemony. Hegemony? Hegemony. Hegemony. Hegemony.
Wow, this is great. You know, I hand off the sacred duty.
Let me do a Keith. Where am I? Let me see. Oh, this is interesting. No. Okay.
I just have to sit here and beep, bop, boop every once in a while.
We open directly in the aftermath of the cliffhanger of last season. The Cayuga hangs in orbit above Parnassus Beta. Survivors, Keith? Few. The Gorn ships? Everywhere, patrolling the edges. Starfleet has imposed a strict no-crossing rule of the Gorn demarcation line. There's chaos.
And we're stuck here on our major cliffhanger.
Yes.
From part 1 to part 2, and that is Pike.
Yeah.
He's frozen.
He left his friends.
Pike is completely frozen, unable to make a decision for an excruciating amount of time at the end of season 2. And then, never mind.
Yeah.
He's that hesitation was such a false peril.
Well, I mean, the peril exists. It's just his sort of trappiness. Not so much.
Well, you expected the idea at the end of season 2 was he's not going to be able to make a decision, and we see him wait and wait and wait. Because if you go back and watch that last scene, the whole thing was he can't make a decision. He doesn't know what to do. He's trapped. What's going to happen? And then we start the season. He just immediately makes the decision, as if so that whole story was just completely deleted. It was all false peril.
But we're back now. Now we have to continue this Gorn battle. Oh yeah, the tactical vest, baby. You better get used to it, because they ain't going nowhere, and it's.
You know what they could use though?
What's that?
And this is like such a Star Trek trope, but like seatbelts would be real helpful at this particular moment in the world.
Yeah, that's true.
So they literally crash into the other ship because in order to get through the shields, they crash into it and put a tracer on it before they disappear. Remember?
No. All right, let's get through the credits here. So,
but important thing in the credits, right? So Martin Quinn is now in the opening credits. So he is now a full cast member. So Scotty is now a full cast member in the show. That's big news.
Well, I mean, especially if we are moving towards a sort of the theme song is awesome. I was celebrating the theme song, and it looks like they changed the opening credits out.
They did, yeah. They adapted a few of them. They did the same thing with the credits as I do with our design. They keep some stuff that they like, and then just do a little facelift for the stuff that we don't. So it all makes sense.
So I mean, I guess a big question that's remaining is what has happened to our friend Captain Patel.
Yeah.
Who is my chapel, if you will.
Oh. Okay. All right.
So she's been some sort of. She's scanned here. It's not just trauma, Keith. It looks like a Gorn implantation.
That's right. So she's got Gorn babies.
Something is growing inside of her. And I said, and seeing Chapel, something is growing inside of Keith.
I wrote down, I forgot how in love I am with Chapel.
Now there's a ticking clock, right? So because the embryos are developing fast, they give some sort of a time frame until she's just like bursting with babies, which we have to avoid, God. Keith.
She's so pretty. Yeah, she's 48 hours before the babies burst out of her, alien style.
Right, and her and Spock have to put their brains together to come up with some sort of a quick fix, working together, right?
Meanwhile, Pike, you know, as we're saying, Mike, the magnificent screenshot taker, never a bad one in there. You know what? Still has my heart. It's fine. It's even better.
Pike is very upset.
Well, naturally, Pike's Chancellor Jen has got Gorn babies about to burst out of her.
Yeah, and I think he feels responsible for this, you know?
Sure. That's very stressful. But you know what stress has not done to him?
Oh, taking away that hair gel?
Messed up anything in his hair.
No.
We get a good Pike hair products joke later, and I think it's the second episode, and you can see, that 23rd century hair gel.
This is one of my favorite setups. I love this widescreen, this sort of this conference room. It's where we always see Admiral April. He's always talking to April up in this piece.
Yeah, well, this is their sort of conference room. Now, I noticed something here. I don't know if you noticed it, Mike. They have added like a physical separation in that screen. Mm-hmm. You see the bars are as if they cobbled together a bunch of TVs, like an old school 80s TV display that wasn't there before. And I don't know what the purpose of doing that was. I noticed it the whole time. You can see it is a screen made up of a bunch of other screens. Now, I understand back in the day when it wasn't possible to have a screen that large, why they would do that. Okay, we want to get this in camera. We don't want this to be a VFX shot or whatever. But they don't need to. Their whole set is an LED net. They don't need to do it that way. So I'm not sure what the artistic decision was to take that screen and make it a bunch of smaller screens.
Sometimes you can have too many toys and too much money, I think.
I have not experienced that.
Yeah, but it's something you've heard. So April, shocker, tells Pike not to engage the Gorn, right?
Right.
Don't go after your folks. And if we know anything about Pike, what do we think? Are we gonna follow that directive?
No, I don't think so. But they sort of finish this with April giving Pike the quick little naughty nod to say, go ahead anyway.
Yeah.
But I just have to tell you, we can't do it.
I think there's an understanding. I mean, Pike's he's not going to follow the orders.
No, he's got to save. He's got to save Chancellor Jen.
Scotty
yeah.
and Ilari, I believe, right? Is that the right?
Pelia.
She's an Ilarian.
Yes. Okay. Good.
Woo. They're trying to figure out some sort of this is sort of where I start to have issues because I just can't understand what either of them is saying.
Okay, I'll tell you what they're doing.
No, I don't mean just technobabble. Physically cannot really understand. The accents are thick, and she's doing a lot of work. Carol Kane.
Well,
I didn't love the choice
of it all. I speak as someone who is mostly Scottish. You should be able to understand a Scottish accent.
Yeah, but when you're Scottish accenting technobabble, it's extra technobabble to me.
The Carol Kane is a language that we didn't develop as a human species. So
yeah,
it could be anything.
You think somebody would have made it just a comment about that choice when she made it?
I love it. It's fun. Why cast Carol Kane if you're not going to have her carry Carol Kane?
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like casting Patti LuPone and expecting her to not be Patti LuPone. It doesn't have any other settings.
But what I took away from this, and you can give me the whole technobabble of it, is that we're still dealing with a bit of almost like a professor-student relationship here. It's fraught. Mm-hmm. He's not good enough for her, or that's the way he feels, and there's going to be conflict to resolve here, Keith.
Yeah, well, sort of. She was his professor at the academy, and he was her greatest student ever, but he never showed up at class, and so on and so forth. And what they're attempting to do here, now if you remember from Hegemony Part 1, yeah.
Hegemony.
Hegemony is the word.
Hegemony. Oh, that's great.
But Hegemony works. So he developed a way to cloak himself.
Right, that's right. It was
by using flashy lights to make them think that I'm Gorn,
He
because
did
my
the
flashy lights
Walking
do the flashy
Dead,
lights.
right? Smother yourself in the zombie, and they think you're a zombie.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So he flashed it. He came up with the flashy lights, and so he's, but he doesn't remember how he made it because he did it in flow state, which is super fun. But now he's got to do one to turn the entire ship into the flashy lights.
And he's got to do it
deal.
before they hit that debroncation line.
That's right. So
Yeah.
that's sort of the idea. So it's interesting to see Scotty be so young and so like tiny, because this is now the third Scotty, I think, that we have seen in the Trek world. You know, because we have the Jimmy Doohan, of course, the original. Then you had the J.J. Abrams movies with Simon Pegg. And so this is our third version of Scotty.
I do enjoy. I like him, and the accent of his side. I didn't mean to indicate that I didn't enjoy his performance. I do. I sort of like seeing a Scotty that's a little less just so cocksure. Scotty, his what do you call it? His final state is very sort of sure of his abilities, but here he's still fledgling, and I like that.
He's a wee young kid. So
we got to go behind enemy lines now. We got to see what's up.
Well, meanwhile, our heroes who were captured in part 3 are on this little ship. I didn't really remember that part, so I'm glad that I rewatched it. So they're on the Goran ship, being taken back to the mothership straight up the urethra, to be processed. So,
yeah, and we're gonna, we have talked a lot about PTSD in previous episodes, so we do revisit a bunch of that here. We have a lot of flashbacks from La'an. She's having her nightmares about her Goran childhood, like attacked or killed her brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was in this situation, being part of like the hatchling thing.
But she's badass. She does have some more of a history with the Goran than anybody else, so there's a chance here. So she's got to find her crew here. So we got to find in what I have to say is a really disgusting but awesome sound design of just moist, gooey ASMR sounds for really weird people.
Yeah.
They're in the middle of this Goran sort of, I guess, a digestive system. There was a conversation we had. I'm guessing the ship itself is, if not sentient, at least organic.
Well, I mean, again, we are just flat cribbing from aliens, so they are being digested here. Now, of course, in Alien, they weren't being digested specifically. They were being, they were being pods to hatch babies out of. So them being digested as part of these little tube thingies, I think that's great. I love that. I think that's
very cool.
That's really
they
interesting.
also discover some other hostages, prisoners, whatever you want to call them, that are being slowly...
all the colonists.
Yeah.
So all the colonists are in there. So so she breaks out our team and leaves all the colonists there to continue to be eaten. And they're being actively consumed.
Right.
To the point that that we see people, who was it? Somebody was missing a finger.
Right. All I can remember, though, as is next is much like George finds the golf ball within the blowhole. If only we could find full assault weapons and rifles.
All of our weapons
within the poop chute,
which they
of the Gorn ship.
Which oh my god, it's so convenient.
Yeah, it was the first time when I was like, wow, they're straining credulity. It's much like, remember, they're like the false peril with Pike. This whole opening is false peril. I mean, yes, we're on the ship, and these people are being eaten. It's not great. The news isn't great, but there are poop guns.
Actually, I wouldn't call them poop guns. You know what I'd call them? Poo pews.
Mm-hmm.
You like that?
AR Sphincter 7s? I don't know. Continue,
Poo
if you will.
pews.
When both of us are just riffing, Keith, it's not good. A lot of lessons learned today.
Yeah, well, there you go. See, one of the good things that the smartest thing she does is she starts with Mbenga. Because
she says, go get a doctor.
Like,
doctor first.
He is part the doctor, also very useful, but also remember, like, he's also Ethan Hunt. Like, he's like a super soldier kind of a guy. Also, in this scene, I do believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first time we've ever seen somebody full on puke. on Star Trek.
Yeah, well, I get it.
So
They didn't have their beta blockers or whatever.
No, I mean, I certainly would too. But so anyway, they're just going to leave all the colonists there.
Well, they have to. They'll come back for them.
Just yeah. It was sort of an easy decision. So like maybe like get 10 more that could have helped you fight, but no. Just going to let them all, continue to get digested.
You got to scroll, buddy. We got to scroll those slides. Oh man.
Okay.
The practical effects are really good. The makeup design and all the gooiness. I think we discussed this before, but they must shoot this on the volume, right? I think close-ups are some practical work, but these wide shots are all CG, maybe volume based.
Well, it's CG. I believe what they use is that it's all in camera, but just with LED nets behind them, so they're seeing it, but it is a two-dimensional.
And Ortegas is back, and I'm hoping this season, she gets to be a little less just jokes and quips, and they don't give her a catchphrase that we can't get rid of. That's my hope.
I like the catchphrase. I thought she was gonna die.
I did think that too, but then
I thought like, oh, we're adding somebody to the cast. Maybe we're gonna take out.
I do think this. Well, we'll get to it. Oh, actually, we'll get to it. I won't bring it up now. But I do like this aesthetic, and I it is very aliens, and it is very organic. But there's sort of the sci-fi. There's some, I don't know. It doesn't bother me as much as you, but I do take the point. We have to finish the plot line though.
Yeah. I mean, like I don't mind, as I've said many times before. I don't mind them being inspired by. Mm-hmm. But I do mind them just copy pasting.
So what we need here is some trauma-based managerial work by Pelia.
That's right. Right. So
sometimes, what does she say? She says you gotta put a phaser to your head and viola.
Because exactly that. I believe that's pretty much how it was at Eastman. Mm-hmm. It was basically trauma-based instruction. But she's like, well, because he developed this thing sort of in a flow state. He didn't write down what he did. He just did it by instincts and survival. So she makes them think they're dying. But he fixes it. He makes the thing go.
He does make the thing work. And he also, a cool character beat there too, is that he does get the balls to say, hey, just as a reminder, you're not above me, right? Like, you're not my CEO or whatever. Which is pretty awesome. Also, I think it's time we just we'll make mention of it. It didn't bother me too much, but clearly her hair has changed this season, and they put a real bad wig on it for this first episode. It gives her a huge cone head. It's bad.
That is a really good. Yeah, that's not how a human head looks.
No, it's like, speaking of Alien, I mean, that's the biggest crib from Alien in the whole episode.
Well, I mean, that's the problem when you have a two-parter, because you've got to complete the continuity. Mm-hmm. And in this case, 2 years later, right? Mm-hmm. It's not like you're picking up in 6 weeks.
Correct.
So you literally have to do half of your special effects, making people look like they did from the last episode before you change everything.
So yeah, we're Gorning here.
Yeah, so we're crossing into Gorn space. We've put on the blinky lights, pretending to be the zombie Gorn.
And guess what, Keith? Not blowed up yet.
Not blowed up yet?
But speaking of blowed up, we don't want these babies to blow up out of Batel. So Christine has to find her cure with Spock. Mm-hmm. And they gotta think outside the box. So I think they use some sort of a. I had it in my notes. I'm now cribbing off my notes. I'm not even looking at them anymore. But they have to. They use some sort of a street drug, right? Like an Orion street drug. That's what I wrote down.
Yeah. No. They do. Well, they see if maybe that would work. It turns out it's not going to work, but that is one of the considerations.
So they're running a scan, and this is. I have to tell you, we have a patron. Mysterious Anne, whose son Walter, who I think is 12 or 13.
No, I think he's 14.
14,
15.
Sorry.
Older.
Oh, I should curse more. Just kidding. He starts screaming at this part, and Anne is explaining it, and I'm glad he did, because I had the same feeling. There is a time and a place to talk about our feelings, Keith, and about our history. This does not feel like that time.
Not the time.
And it's an extended sequence about Spock apologizing and all this stuff while they're like running a scan to see if like at any second Gorn babies could pop out of this lady's chest.
Probability of fatality 100%.
Yeah. In fact, the best we do in chance of survival in this episode is they give her 14% chance.
That's right.
So this felt radically inappropriate to me, but
always. It's such a TV trope. I mean, like you watch an episode of Grey's Anatomy, that is what the series is.
Yeah.
Talking about your stupid feelings over a body.
However, I believe they settle on their treatment plan is to use some Illyrian blood.
That's right.
Yeah. And if only we had Illyrian on board, Keith.
That's true. That's right. Luckily, they can steal some blood from Una. So that is a really smart idea and a good fix. I think makes a lot of sense because like the genetically engineered blood is designed to like attack infections and antibodies, and like I like it.
All right, so here's my understanding of what our plan on the planet becomes. Oh yeah, we get to see Sam Kirk again, whom just I can't look at without seeing Ted Lasso. The biosuits are really cool. I appreciate the use of volumetric fog here to kind of make those lights look really cool. Although you're right, it's very much James Cameron. It's very Abyss. It's very Aliens. It's an aesthetic we're very familiar with.
They owe royalties to Giger. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Keith, we're gonna steal the ship. We're gonna interface with the Gorn mainframe or whatever. We'll give transport codes so everybody can get rescued.
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to do it. And
basically,
clearly, if anybody could fly the ship, we know it is. Because she flies the ship.
Who flies the ship?
She flies the ship.
She flies the ship.
Yeah. But they keep reminding us, this show, and I forgive it for this, but they do keep reminding us of the stakes. Every couple of seconds, somebody has a line that's telling us, like, there's a full-scale invasion coming, the Gorn. And they do that job, a successful job of not just like littering the episode with Gorn. You know what I mean? We only get the one in a video game sequence, which is weird, but
they can't afford it.
Yeah.
So I have a question here. So like, I get that. Like,
should we keep a tactical vest on? Yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah. It's like like I get like you might want to take. You're busy. You're not gonna like take a shower, but like maybe take the armor off.
Mm-hmm.
I no,
like it looks awesome. Somebody made that, man.
I would know for sure. It's just like you're on the bridge now, and you've been on there for like hours to like give people time to talk about their feelings.
What was this conversation? I forget this conversation.
They're talking about Star Trek stuff.
Yeah, Trekkie Trek. So we're coming up to the scene that was I think one of my faves, where we see on the screen we kind of are like tracking some Gorn stuff, and we see them sort of go through an area they shouldn't be able to. They fly directly into, what do they call it? The binary star system.
I think you're looking for testes.
But right, like they fly into between two suns.
Right, and so the Gorn are using this as a way to fast transport, I think. And so this is how they're getting in and out of the system, and so they can't get too close to it because of the radiation. And so going that close is going to be a big risk, that sort of a deal.
But if this is the door, Keith, that means that behind this door is probably lots of Gorn, either coming or going.
Yes, that's what happens.
When you just walk into someone's house?
I was just swallowing a...
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was being an adult. Being
okay,
classy.
Keith, stop jibber-jabbering. Batel's condition is worsening, and we have to do surgery. All right? There's only 14% chance of her survival, as we've been told, and so we're just going to have to operate. And we're going to have to put aside our romantic differences, and we're going to have to do this thing together.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean? We're going to have to save a life.
That's true.
So listen, if we put our heads together, perhaps we can find a way to turn the Enterprise into some sort of a... solar flare, so we can mimic some of this solar flare radiation behavior and make ourselves be able to go into the moon area. That sound like something logical we could do, or the suns?
I mean, yeah, we're gonna go do something with the testes, but before we do, we are overtaken by the giant invasion fleet of Gorn. Right?
Yeah, right. The spinny ships.
All the spinny ships, and then the big, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's the reason they had to do the emergency surgery, right? It's like all hands. It's time.
Well, the ticking clock with the emergency surgery, like they're like that. You can see the aliens like are the Gorn are like about to hatch out of there, but so when all the ships show up, we know that the Gorn are literally are invading right that minute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so what that scene was that we forgot. So they're trying to figure out, all right, so we can do our flashy lights and communicate with them, and we know they operate by instinct for reasons. So this is another thing where they didn't crib from aliens, they cribbed from themselves by doing the best of both worlds solution. So what is the flashy thing?
Force the hibernation?
Force the hibernation. It's the exact same thing as when they told the Borg ship, sleep. What, Captain? Sleep. Right? It's the exact same solution to best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that's not an homage. It's the same solution. I don't get it.
You know what's funny? That's not what bothers me about the scene. What bothers me
is what fabric they chose for their...
It is funny because I think the helmet portion's really cool. It's the Abyss helmet, but then it's just
how many couches died for that surgery outfit?
Well, it just feels to me like the top of your head is clearly it's vacuum sealed in, so you're protected from whatever. But that same radiation whenever can just sneak up the sewed part.
She's just wearing a bib. They're gonna eat ribs. And it's and also it looks like it's leather. You want to know what's not good for being not contaminated? Leather.
Yeah. Also, so it's the scene where we talk about, is this before or after the solar flare conversation? They're let's
after
put them to sleep. Yeah.
After they make the plan. They haven't done it.
The part about the plan, to go back a beat, is it is a trope, I know, and it doesn't bother me always, but for some reason it bothered me this episode is because what I do like about this show and Trek in general, some of the more swashbuckling Trek, is the wink and the nod of it's just crazy enough to work, or
right, sure.
That sort of wink and a nod trope I do like. There's something satisfying about that. It's for swashbuckling, it's hero based, but the moment in this one where he's like, here's the plan, we're going to do this, and we're going to make them fall asleep. And they go to every person. We get Scotty, we get everybody on the bridge telling him why it won't work, why this is impossible. And the calculations are, it's got 1% chance, but then they do it anyway. He's like, but we're doing it anyway. It's just I don't know. It stuck out to me here. Don't get me wrong.
Desperate times, desperate measures.
Okay, where am I? Let's see, where are we? Oh yeah, he's stressed out. He's stressed out, but he's vested out. He's got his vest on.
He's stressed out because he can't move his shoulders.
Yeah, to be
He's
honest,
got armor on.
Yeah, he looks like Gul Dukat. He can only
he
move his upper
like
torso. So we got to try it, right?
That's right. Don't have much of a choice, right?
Yeah, but let's see what happens. Honey. Oh my God, I did it.
Yes, sweetie cakes.
Keith, we've got to do an X-Flare simulation. Go back. This is great. In this situation, this is rather than just telling us it's impossible, we have to run a weird asteroid from Atari 2600 simulation. Enterprise destroyed.
Enterprise destroyed.
We got to MacGyver it. But here's the good news. I think it's going to work.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
Not only that, but we're able to sort of feed the Gorn.
Right. So
feed the baby Gorn.
The first plan was to suck them out with that little vacuumy dealie.
No.
And then they realized they're only bursting out because they're hungry. Mm-hmm. So if we feed them, then they'll stay there. And then with the Illyrian goo,
mm-hmm.
Wait, is it Illyrian? Because I think we've used Illyrian for both
Yeah, because
Pelia
but if I'm not, because I
Una.
recall them using Una, right? Like they had her blood synthesized. Or something.
Right. I just want to make sure.
She's Illyrian, right?
Well, one of them is Illyrian, and one of them is the other thing.
Right.
So
old.
Una is Illyrian.
Yes, that's whose blood they were using.
That's right.
Yeah.
But Pelia is a Lanthanite.
And Hemmer was an Andorian.
That's right.
Ooh.
That's right. Okay, so there we go. So for those people who have written down very angry, Una is not an Illyrian, you fools. You clearly don't like Star Trek. Well, we fixed it.
Yep.
But I think this is a really cool and interesting solution, though. I like this solution very much.
Mm-hmm. As do I.
And let the body reabsorb them. Like I think it's good sci-fi.
But what's cool and sort of a foreshadow for the next episode, which is a foreshadow for the season, is though satiated and somewhat like diffused within her body, not gone, not extracted.
Well, because I think we take from this that like this is going to officially take them, because they're basically just like eating the baby. The body is eating the babies and like reabsorbing them.
I don't know. There seems to be enough foreshadow in that last scene with him and her. They're like that. They're not out of the woods yet.
So are you saying that there's probably going to be like a dinner scene where everybody relaxes and they laugh for the first time, and then she clutches her chest?
And an alien pops out putting on the Ritz with a hat and cane.
I believe, yeah. I think that's where we're headed.
Yeah.
I think she's also probably gonna need some cortisone cream after all that.
Now, as much as we've been kind of like taking the piss, with the exception of like this is kind of the episode of, like, some of the effects incredible, and then there are some choices where you're like, but they're just wearing doilies under their chin. Right? There's not a lot of there's room for improvement.
Yeah, I honestly, I cared about the fabric choices, because I don't know what the, like, it doesn't need to be air. I guess they did have the helmet on, but like, we don't know what like sci-fi air filtration they have. I just like, why would you choose that fabric? That's my question.
Well, listen, the episode has been leading us to some sort of a pew or a battle, and we get a pretty awesome battle sequence next.
Yeah, we do. So they grab the transporter coordinates because they somehow know how to read Gorn and how to read the computers.
Yeah.
Sure, not a problem.
She's very smart.
Well, but La'an has had experience with Gorn things, so I think we can sort of let that one slide, because she's been captured by Gorn. She maybe picked up some of the language or whatever, but it is remarkable.
And I do like we are building. We're reaffirming the relationship between Mbenga and La'an, and him snapping her out of it a bunch, and her. No,
for sure. Yeah. And both of them understand PTSD, and like that's all.
But that's useful. Not before some people get messed up in this battle coming up.
Yeah, well, we've got to if you're gonna have it's Chekhov's poo pew.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you got to use it, but. Our Gorn arrive, clinging to the ceiling, exactly like aliens.
I knew you were going to be mad.
It's the same shot.
I knew he was going to be mad. I told you he was going to be mad.
It's the same shot. It's one of the most iconic things you've ever in all of sci-fi. You use the same shot.
All right.
It's not an homage. It's just the same thing.
All right. That's
also named Jerry Seinfeld.
That was
it's
Jerry
not an homage. It's just the same thing.
But in Alien, does someone get slashed so hard in the stomach you think they're going to be severed in half? But instead, they use that severed stomach almost to be a biological blood key to run the Tron-based Booger Gorn ship?
All the time!
I do think this episode, the aesthetic of this portion of the episode is very, like I said, Alien meets Tron meets boogers.
Lots of boogers.
So much boogers. Yeah.
We do get quite the view down the maw of a Gorn there.
The tonal inconsistency of this episode that really makes me laugh is you've got like ferocious, awesome, like nasty monster shot of Gorn. Then a little bit later, there's like I couldn't get a screenshot of it. I couldn't get the frame to stop. There's this awesome shot of like the Gorn driving like an X-wing, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, what? It's kind of cheeseball, but
that's I mean that is the thing about the Gorn, and it's just like, what are these things? Like what is the intelligence? They've developed warp drive.
Yeah, it's a lot, but
and yet flashing lights will make them hibernate as a species.
The decision we made, and this is one thing I recall from my watch, is the decision we make with the Gorn here is that we're going to punt, right? We're instead of answering any of those questions, Keith, we're going to Brigadoon them.
Well, and this is again part of what's not their fault, right? Because it's a prequel.
Yeah.
They kind of have to punt the Gorn, and the Gorn are clearly the big bad of Strange New Show, but we can't ever know more about them than Kirk knows about them.
Yeah.
In 7 years.
I think, well, we'll get to it. My belief is still that episode 2 would have been a better season opener, but that's neither here nor there. So what have we achieved? We beam out the colonists. Nobody's dead.
Well, not yet. We gotta fly. Fly.
We're behind. Yeah. She uses the blood key from her gaping wound.
Yeah, so here's the part as she's
Tron.
like literally, Tron. I thought that was cool. It looked cool. I liked them flying the ship. Like, I liked all of this. I liked her like almost dying while she was doing it. Super cool. Here's the thing that I was wondering, especially after she finishes flying the ship and they're like, we did it, blah 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 blah. Doctor, maybe some direct pressure as she's actively. Psst, psst, psst.
You know, it's funny.
Put some blood pressure on
I
it.
assumed, and I might have just filled in my own headcanon here, that the Gorn ship, like using her biometrics, was doing that for them. Like once I know that's like it was some sort of a mech scenario. Like she was like encased in this thing. Let me tell you what Strange New Worlds does great. You know what Strange New Worlds and James Gunn's Superman have in common? The hero shot.
Yeah, I mean, this looks amazing.
Freaking incredible.
Now, of course, this episode is basically like your 6th grade class you all tee-hee through, because we have the testes here, and then out of the vast deferens shoot the little swimmers who would like to, impregnate something, which is what this all really, really looks like to me.
This is like, you know what else happened tee-heed in 6th grade is when Mike tried to fake his book report and got called out and had to read it in front of the class. Oh.
In health class.
Keith held me to task, and I will... Hero shot!
Great. I mean, amazing.
Tomorrow will be better. Oh, man, but come on. How great does that look?
Oh, look, it looks amazing. It looks fantastic.
Now, biggest question. Now, the wig is still there. Are we going to take off the tactical vest?
It's a good question. So anyway, we
she's
get
Ortegas.
out.
She flies the ship.
She flies the ship. And we find out that they took the bibs off. Which was good.
Now, Keith, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, okay.
You're kind of hitting off with this girl, right? Things are vibing.
I mean, we're already into sci-fi at this point.
Things are vibing, right? Mm-hmm. There's maybe been some making out. Mm-hmm. You maybe called off a wedding. All right. And she's like, "Listen, I'm going away to college for a couple months, right? First semester." And you're waiting for it. You're like, "All right, like we're gonna make this official." And she's like, "Don't wait for me."
Oh, it's real bad.
That's bad, right?
That's real bad.
Like that's bad.
That's
if you are a super intelligent being, you would think you could pick up on the subtle hints. No, it is a human hint, I guess.
Don't wait for me means game over, man. Game over. But you know what? Would I still wait? And would I still, hope? Hope springs eternal.
Yeah. Okay.
A joke from a show. Yeah. I mean, like I'd give her all the time she wants.
Yeah. And then what if she came back from college with her new boyfriend? Well, we'll get there. Save that thought, Keith.
Oh, I've been there.
We got to go. Okay, so now Pike has to have his moment with Tell, and they're like, everybody, you know what? We're back to set after 2 years. Everybody cries this week. Everybody's gonna cry.
I gotta say though, like Anson Mount is great.
He is excellent. Yes.
And like I think
I thought the scene was very tender. I enjoyed it. I thought you get a lot of backstory with his sort of "you win, Dad," and then the sort of the "our father" he throws out.
Well, right. That was the last thing that I wrote in my notes was like Pike praise, which like Gene Roddenberry would have been real pissed.
Yeah.
About that.
I think it adds a lot of color. It adds a lot of context. I like.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it, but it does go against Roddenberry's vision of the future.
I had I was so flustered in the beginning. I apologize that I didn't mention we missed the plot beat where she's got to pick a new, mission or assignment, and so she's discussing. Or is that next week?
That's next week.
Oh, forget it. Just kidding. Sorry, I watched them back to back, so it's all kind of one thing.
She was trying not to get exploded with Gorn babies.
Yeah, you're right.
She
didn't have a chance to go through LinkedIn.
She wasn't really.
Oh man, guys, I have to tell you, my summer is all screwed up, and I've got a raging migraine, so I've been all over the place this week. But that is par for the course. Well, I'll fix it for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. This has been it's been free form. It's been
nice.
enjoyable. But like, and we sort of confirm next episode that Pike is Catholic, and I.
Someone had mentioned in the watch along that is canon. That there's other precedent for that.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah. I can't remember what it is, but I'm sure that someone on the YouTube comment right underneath Bullocks, or what was that one comment we got the one time? Trash, or what was something?
Trash. Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna deserve it this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, human religiousness like that was very like Roddenberry very specifically and intentionally said that we had moved on past religion. Humanity had. But I'm curious what that canon is. Somebody write it down, because somebody will know, because, you know, especially with Deep Space Nine of all things, like so much exploration of religion, of sort of like aliens and other cultures, and you know, I have not seen the last couple of seasons of Disco, so they might have addressed it there. Just curious, really curious how that fits into the canon. Let me be clear. I don't dislike it. I think it's an interesting color for Pike.
I also think it's kind of a neat. There a parallel to draw here between this relationship and our Ben Sisko Cassidy Yates relationship, in that, you know, they both have their own jobs,
own lives and jobs. And she's a captain. They're both
responsibilities, and sometimes it's weird when she's just kind of on the ship and he's trying to work. You know.
Right.
So there's some parallels to be drawn there, and I like. It also gives them, I guess, an excuse to kind of. She's not a full-time cast member, right?
No.
Yeah, so it gives her a chance to kind of awesome peace out.
But she has been saved. The Federation has been saved for now, and they fly out of the giant testicles to go home.
Until the next time we Brigadoon the Gorn. Brigagorn.
Brigagorn.
All right.
So yeah, we did it.
We got through it. All right.
We got through it. You know what it's time for, buddy.
So yes, I forget. Oh, that actually brings me. Well, I'll pick that point. Let me put a pin in it right here. But we've established that Punch It is our thing, man, and we wait the whole episode for a Punch It. It never comes. We get all kinds of other weird, just like.
Doesn't he say it before they go into the testicles?
No, he's I don't think he says punch it. He says something else.
He says something. He says a catchphrasey thing.
Yeah. Oh, he has a bunch of catchphrase tries. The one that sticks in my mind, because my eyes rolled so hard it hurt. He's like, "Make us shine like the sun." When they're trying to become the solar flare, I was like, "Please, man! All you had to say was punch it."
Mike,
Yeah.
we're going to go into the next segment. Make us shine like the sun!
Punch that shit! Punch it, punch it, punch it! Just punch it, man, just punch it! Punch it, punch it, punch it!
Let's punch it.
Hit it.
Yo, Adrian! It's the Punchies!
I forgot about that part. Oh, man. That was funny.
There we go. Mike
Wow.
cracks himself up.
Well, the Adrian part, I forgot all about.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
man. Mike Tyson's code, 007-373-5963. Yeah, so I can't speak to sort of the lore of the Gorn and whether we shat upon it or not in this episode, but I can say that the wormholes here for me are mostly just the conveniences, right? It's like, oh, we're trapped. Oh, wait, there's guns. Oh, we can't fly the ship. Oh, wait, she can fly the ship. We don't know what we're going to do. Oh, we can just shoot serum in it. I guess there's a lot of technobabble. There's a lot of stuff. The thing it does get right is that I do think the pacing's really well, and you know, the MacGyver plans come at the, you know, they're just finding their footing. Do you have any specifics?
I mean, for me, the biggest wormhole, and I sort of get it, I sort of don't get it, is the pew-pews, or the poo-pews.
Right.
I get that there would be a separating the organic things from the inorganic things, but how did they get into the tubes? Right? Didn't somebody put them in the tubes? So then they would probably take their effects. It wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know how they got there. It doesn't really matter. I mean, like my bigger wormholes about the whole Gorn thing are like the whole questions of like what the hell are the Gorn and how do they work and how did they develop warp drive and so on and so forth. But that's kind of it. The medical stuff I thought made sense. I actually kind of liked.
Yeah, I think it was the most coherent. I think it's weird. Well, actually, we'll talk about that in our kind of summation of it.
Yeah, let's do our best moment.
Sure. Why don't you go first?
All right. Well, I'll go first. Well, there it is. Yeah. What was my best moment?
That's a tough one. You gotta think that hard.
No, because I actually like. It sounds like I'm like gonna crap on this show on this episode a lot. I'm not going to. I actually kind of I enjoyed this episode very much. I think for me the most interesting part was the medical solution. I really liked them dealing with this impossible task. When they came up with it, I couldn't think of a solution myself, and when they came up with it, I was like, that's believable, that's interesting. It is a more of a thoughtful solution than ripping it out and like having the body reabsorb it. Like that's cool. That feels like actual and medical and interesting. So that was my favorite part.
I actually think for me, my favorite part, because like I said, I was really hyped when we started, just to be back in the world, to be back in the visuals of it all, the sound design, everything about it was working for me. And that culminated for me in that final battle sequence on the Gorn ship, where I didn't even really care what the plan was. We have to beat a bunch of people up to get there before we can like Tron cycle. And I thought that whole visual sequence reminded me how cinematic this show can be, and how I don't know how I'm really confused by this like separation between us. It's confusing me. It reminded me how cinematic it can be and how awesome the score was. Incredible. Like just the sort of dynamic range of the show was explored there, and it psyched me up to be back.
Yeah.
Well, Keith, I
Let's
guess that
do
leaves
it.
one thing.
Yeah, sure does.
You get some stamps
decided to go back to the Punchies, and then I turned that off and I turned this on when we do this.
You know, there's a Punchies logo you could put up there if you want.
And there's true. You see, I used to have a whole Stream Deck thing for this built out, but I think it was so long in between, it's no longer there.
You know, 2 years. It was literally 2 years ago.
It says there's a Punchies logo, but it does not exist in my setup.
All right. Well, whatever. We'll get it next
I'll find
week.
it another time. Huh. So, yeah, like you, I actually revisiting. I was so psyched to be back in this world and be with the patrons. I don't even think I paid that much attention. I kept marveling at how great it looks. And this episode, I'm trying to take it isolated because I watched them both together, so it just doesn't. It's difficult to look at it that way. And I was reminded what I love about what I love about the show. I know I think I was in more of a minority than most people in that I really loved the first 2 seasons. Like I really enjoyed it, but I don't have the reverence for the characters and the TOS as most fans do, right? So I'm okay with them playing a little fast and loose with some of the characters, and to me, there seems to be a sort of knowing wink and nod towards the level of camp that exists in this world. I don't think it's camp in its traditional definition. I just think it's a heightened reality. The quips and the drama. Like I said, the emotional and tonal dynamic range is wide, and I can see how that won't work for everybody, especially those who are generally drawn to the sort of darker natured Deep Space Nine and those types of quandaries. And we do deal with those things here, but it's those moments of levity and eye-rolly moments that actually I find enjoyment in, right? Like you said, the catchphrases and the it's just crazy enough it might work kind of moments work for me. I do find myself on the Keith end of the spectrum of sometimes the romance stuff. I'm like, oh God, please. And that I felt a little bit that here, highlighted by Walter, who just every time Anne says in the chat, she's like, he's screaming. He only made it 20 minutes next week, but
that's funny.
So I'm back on board, right? I was happy to be back with these characters. They did a good job of like reminding us. I will say it suffers for me because it's hard to do cliffhanger when it's been 2 years. Now, if we were doing this 20 years from now, like our other shows, and I watched it the next week, maybe I would feel differently. But it's just not how it exists here. It's so long, you barely remember. And I think because you barely remember, it feels like this episode is used to just be like, okay, we got to button that stuff up so we can move forward with this season. It really feels that way. It feels less... There's an attention to detail that seems to be missing. Like, people are like, nah, don't worry about it too much. Let's just explain it away. Let's, like, come up with a... Like, Scotty, we're going to put him in peril. He can't remember how he... Thank you. Two people in the world know what just happened. Scotty can't remember. Oh, my God. Interesting, right? Like, genius Scotty can't remember how... He knows this technology, how to mask the ship, but he can't remember. Well, he will next scene, right? Oh, we have no idea how we're going to get these eggs and how we're going to do but they will next scene. So the convenience level is just like a little too high for me this week. I can stomach most of it, but it just felt like a little too much. I could have used one interesting reveal. Huge discovery of the Gorn homeworld. But I don't really do much with it because we're just going to put them to... We just brigadoon them. And I'm a little bothered. They sort of set up... The whole cliffhanger was sort of set up around, like, how is Pike gonna go rescue his people? He's gonna defy April's orders and rescue his people, and he really doesn't. He buys them a little bit of time and puts a ship close enough that they can rescue themselves. I guess you could argue that giving them the agency is actually good writing.
Well, yes. Yeah, well, because it is... I think it highlights the ensemble nature of a Starfleet ship.
Yeah.
It's not about one guy going rogue. It is about a whole team of incredibly competent and effective people working together. Mm-hmm. And he's just steering. They're doing the work. So
it feels a little to me like we got to bust the table before we serve the next seating this week. Not to say that the meal wasn't good. It just feels a little bit that way to me. And because I really like this show, I'm going to level set myself. And because I'm
Okay.
feeling meh,
All
I
right.
have to give it a C. And so I'm going to say 76 self-sealing stem bolts.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's for me, for somebody who I came down really hard
Yeah.
on part 1, right? And rewatching it, right? I think I was maybe a little too hard on it.
You've grown in 2 years, Keith.
Don't I know it? But I feel like I get hung up on the logical inconsistencies. I get hung up on the cribbing from aliens. But those are just things that like stick in my craw specifically. But now watching them back to back, watching the whole sequence there, I think, let's say you carve out ripping off Alien, you carve out like, what are the rules with the whole Gorn nonsense? Like, how does this work? Whatever. And watch this as a whole movie. It's pretty satisfying. I think it's pretty fun and it's pretty interesting. And, it's a fun bad guy. We put ourselves in some pretty serious peril. We come out of it with some pretty interesting solutions. The character work is good. The acting is great. It looks fantastic. I mean, just like these are cinematic level stuff. I mean, there's
You can't deny it.
that you just can't deny, like any of the films of the until you hit the Abrams stuff, like couldn't touch these visuals with a 10-foot pole. And so it's just like, it's really impressive. And I think it satisfyingly at least ties it up so we can continue moving forward. The inclusion of Scotty now as a main cast member makes sense. We've had sort of a defense against dark arts teachers for our engineers for the first couple of seasons, and now having Scotty come in, and I'm assuming that he's probably going to take over for Pelia. I find it satisfying. I like it. So, on the whole, do I wish we had tightened up the logic of the Gorn? Do I wish that we had found a way to spend more of a nod to, but not rip off Alien? For sure. But I'm going to give it 81.
Okay.
I think it was pretty good. Maybe once we have more answers about the Gorn, this will retroactively make more sense and feel more satisfying. Who knows? But in the meantime, I enjoyed it. I did. There's just no getting around it.
Yeah, I think that. I
remember
forgot
we did this?
Yeah. All right. Let me shape you properly.
I've been trying to do that for 20 years. It's not working.
I'll say that. Just spoiler alert for me, because I haven't watched Disco and I haven't, but like some of the newer Trek stuff, even your Picards has been really like grounded and gritty, I guess, and darker, or just like the Snyderversey, if you will. And that's why I like this show, is because it's not that. I like the sort of pulp nature. That's the word I've been looking for. There's like a pulp to it. And
for sure.
Yeah.
Which is why I like this so much better than Discovery.
So I'm more in for you'll find out next week, I'm more in for the sort of wacky-ish that we do. The wackier, the better for me. And I don't need this, I love that we revisited that episode we called back and we did like the tribble stuff. Like, give me that. I don't need all the PTSD and all. I'm glad that we're dealing with issues, don't get me wrong. But like, that's not what I'm in for right now. So this episode isn't like just, it had a little bit of both, which is why I think I settled where I was. But I'm looking forward to where we're going. And here's the thing, like, if you're a fan of Star Trek, listen, and I am not, Keith, you can speak better to this, but don't you want to know that your property is in good hands? Like, if it looks incredible and sounds incredible and isn't that a good thing?
Yes. I wish they were in slightly different hands.
Well, There's a meta picture.
Close.
Yeah.
Like there are so many things about this that are like, this is not only as good but better than in the 90s. You know, right? Like we are free from the limitations of the Berman era.
Yeah.
We are just storytelling wise, like political wise, representation wise. Thank God we are free from those limitations.
And I think as a net positive, just like looking at the media landscape, both politically and sort of just the conglomerate based way things are headed in a lot of things, let me tell you, usually news of a cancellation or a show ending is sad. Them knowing ahead of time how many episodes they have left is a net positive, I think.
If they get there. We'll see.
Well, as far as writing goes, right? That means they can plot out what they would like to see happen. So if it gets there, you know it will be at least a conclusion instead of...
Hopefully, yes.
Well,
hopefully. I've lost all
you're right.
all trust
Yeah.
in the cowards over at Paramount CBS. The capitulating cowards at CBS and Paramount can go kiss a Gorn.
Hey, do you want them to kiss a Gorn? Do you know how you can do so? Watch the show with me on the internet at patreon.com/KNM.
Fair enough. All right, well, we're going to leave it at that. Next week, or not next week.
Couple days?
I guess coming up a couple of days, we'll be talking about Wedding Bell Blues. We will see you then. Thank you so much for watching. Till then, this has been Strange New Show. Keith and Mike watch Strange New World.
Thank you for watching K&M Entertainment. If you enjoyed our particular brand of nonsense, please like and subscribe.
Keith's got it out.
Or become one of our patrons at patreon.com/KNM.
He's in a poop polyp. He's in a polyp slimer somewhere.
I think of it more as a urethra, but basically the same thing.